episode 109 of Season 1. Today, we're going to try to build a community gym. How large is a tennis court? $24. Sorry about that long delay. $8. For the tennis court. Six, sieben, acht. Sometimes I'd speak German in my videos too. Sometimes I'd speak English. Usually I'd speak English. Now, but before that, One thing Hitler did that was evil was he literally destroyed jobs. But the crazy thing about Stalin is he pushed people to their absolute physical limits, with some ended up breaking their bones, literally. Ouch. Since most of us cannot throw a basketball higher than 15 feet, I'm building a... I'm starting out with a fence first. Then eventually... No, I'm not trying... I'm not doing this fence to be racist or anything, because I myself am against racism. I'm doing this because this is still in the early stages. The community is still in the early stages of development. I ain't doing this to be racist or anything. I'm doing this because it's still in the early... the community's still in the early stages of development. When the development's in the more advanced stages, this would ultimately end up becoming a full-blown arena. Good. Now, time to build a tennis court. I gotta head to my chest first. Take out what I don't need. Fire up Excuse me. Fire up the inventory. Blue and green concrete powder. Here we are. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Nineteen, 20. Here we are. No, 37 Meter. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Drei, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Eins, 2, 3, 4. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The only way to turn the country fascist is to destroy democracy. Under Hitler's policies, he drove the rich into getting super greedy for the greater good of Hitler. Legend of the Astral Hammer. I believe that capitalism must be abolished. My personal opinion. Legend of the Astral Hammer. Guitar chugging. This is good. Eight point 23. 8, 9, 10. 11. You know, democratic fascism is another name for totalitarian democracy. Anti-fascism is literally someone who is against the policies of totalitarian countries. Good. One of the worst things to happen in Nazi Germany, trade unions were destroyed. Under Hitler's orders. 4, 5, 6. Legend of the Astral Hammer. This metal gate is used as a net. Legend of the Astral Hammer. Problem with making labor cheap. To make labor as cheap as you can. Fascism has a very similar concept to capitalism. In fact, fascism is basically totalitarian capitalism. Literally. In which the government monopolizes everything for their own personal gain. And for the gain of the military. And for the gain of the cult of personality around the dictator. And the regime. In Karl Marx's idea of labor, the means of production should be seized for the greater good of everybody. I agree with Marx. I want to make it fair for everybody. I want to make it fair for everybody. Should the rich be taxed? Yes. Bill Gates definitely agrees with me on that. Would Bill Gates what he is? He is a social capitalist. He has both capitalist and socialist elements in him. But ultimately, capitalism ends up destroying society. In communism, the means of production are commonly owned. But in fascism, with the means of production in capitalism, they are owned by the regime. The means of production are owned by the government elites. Why I see capitalism as evil? in our society. For one, it causes a lot of suffering. Some of the super wealthy want to replace capitalism with straight up totalitarianism. Under Hitler's rule, he sent union leaders to prison just for forming unions, which is not fair. Which ain't fair. Literally, he cheated his way to victory. Legend of the Astral Hammer. Oops. Even though more and more of us are not smoking as much anymore, how's Big Tobacco still making a shit ton of money? Literally, they are using genetic engineering to their advantage. They're exploiting people for their own personal gain. In capitalism, workers are exploited for the personal gain of the rich. In fascism, workers are exploited for the personal gain of the dictator himself. Legend of the Astral Hammer. When a country is ruled by a fascist regime, Legend of the Astral Hammer. Hitler. How greedy was Hitler? He was a really greedy dictator. Legend of the Astral Hammer. One thing Hitler did to cause so much poverty in Germany is by having union leaders arrested. One thing business people are doing is violating workers' rights to form unions. In the fascist country in my novel, union leaders would straight up get executed. Not only that, their whole families would get flogged, and if they refuse to get flogged, they too will get executed. And sometimes they get flogged and executed. No, they're not going to use the cane they would use in Singapore to punish convicts. They're going to use something even thicker. Something that'll rip your skin out and rip the flesh out of your ass. Which is really disgusting. After you're near death, they had sodomized a convict with a meat hook. For the female convicts, entrails would be ripped out of their private parts. As in the Cannibal Corpse song, quote, entrails ripped from a virgin's cunt. Like, they do it to women who died a virgin. Not only would they do that, they would sexually assault the dead virgin. Just like what Quagmire did. In the episode called Airport 07, the dictator would even punish the rich for giving to the poor. The dictator would literally put people in poverty as punishment for disloyalty to the regime. How would they be put into poverty? They would be forced out of their jobs. Not only that, all their money would be withheld. All their money would be withheld. So the government could spend it on the military. Even the high-skilled workers would not get paid a lot. For me, I'd rather have a blue-collar job instead of a white-collar job. Because I want to contribute to society. I want to contribute to society. I'd rather be a blue-collar worker instead of a white-collar worker because why? I want to contribute to society. Money to Hitler is like meat to a cat. Hitler was a really greedy jerk. greedy. He straight up, like, he used his greed for his own personal gain. How did Hitler... Another thing that put so many people in poverty in Nazi Germany was forcing people into the military against their will. Those who refused to serve their country in Nazi Germany, oftentimes were they executed. Oftentimes they were executed, oftentimes they were. Oftentimes executed they were. That is Yoda speak right there. Executed them, they did. Hitler had a brutally high charisma. Not only would he resort to voter suppression, he'd straight up resort to electoral fraud. Anyways, this is it for this video. Don't forget to leave a like if you liked this video, dislike if you disliked it, subs if you loved it. And as always, stay tuned for more, and peace out.